Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Before I get into the video proper, I have to wish my greatest fan a happy belated birthday. She celebrated her birthday on the 30th of September, last Saturday. And believe me, I could not. This is my first video I'm making since the weekend, and I have to big her up. Now, here is why. Glenda found my channel about 9 months ago. Since then, she has watched all my videos, every single one. How do I know that? Because she comments on everyone. She comments on the video on Facebook. She comments on it on YouTube. She comments on it on WhatsApp and in Messenger. And she shares all my videos. She shares them. Even more extreme than that. It's like Glenda is the first person to watch my videos. Within moments of my video goes out, she watches the video. You see her. And if she can't watch it like as it comes out, she's leave a comment. Oh, I'm busy now. I'll watch this later. That is the type of person that she is. And I must say, every human being who is a YouTuber, every human being who is a TikToker or who runs any sort of channel like that, every human being needs just one Glenda. And the 30th of September is a special day for the world. Because believe me, it is the day Glenda was born, and I think everybody should have a Glenda in their life. And Glenda, thank you for being you. Thank you for being my fan. You're one of my greatest blessings as a YouTuber. And I must say all the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, let me get into the video. Now, over the weekend, I got a letter from Rev Paul, who says he's from New Jersey in the United States. He says he's of Jamaican parentage, and he really considers himself as a Jamaican. He says he visits here regularly and all of that. This man is rebuking me profusely, in a very diplomatic way, I might add, for saying that charismites, gunmen, should not be afforded normal justice and their cases should not be taken through the courts. But I have always been advocating for the summary taking away of charismites and all violence producers. He says I'm wrong to do that and it shouldn't happen because I should leave all judgment unto God. And I don't know if any of these men's life can be turned around. And it is wrong for me to be doing that. So I should not be saying that their doors should be kicked off at 2 a.m. He said it is just plain wrong. He is also bringing it to my attention that suppose it was one of my kids. He says I've always been boasting about my 6 boys. Suppose police was to have some grievance against one of my sons and use these same principles and take out one of my boys at 2 a.m. and kick off their doors and so on. What about me? He's saying, what about me? Suppose the police was to come and do that to me. How would I feel? So he's saying what I should do is to simply pray for these people and stop wishing bad for others and just hope for a better day. And everybody deserves justice and everybody deserves the law to take its course, and therefore extrajudicial taking away should just never happen. The main part of what he said that really made me smile, made me laugh inside, was when he said, leave all judgment unto God. Because what I made him know, plain and straight, about roughly 1,500 Jamaicans are taken away every year by gunmen. And I have never seen or heard of a case in Jamaica where his God has ever sent down a bolt of lightning to strike a gunman when he's going to kill an innocent person. I have never ever seen that happen. Right? So, if this is a God who is going to stand there and fold his arms while they take out any amount of people that they feel like, well, I agree. I agree that they should be sent up summarily, dispatched up to that God so him can go and judge them in the meantime. Because I don't swear I serve no other purpose with all we are going down here, so. And that's the plain truth. Let's not just face it. I know saying that makes some people uncomfortable, but where's the lie? Where is the lie? Who never see God send a bolt of lightning and strike anybody where I try take out even an innocent baby? Never. So that is something that I am just pragmatic enough to just face that is nonsense he's saying right there. But I think I need to justify my position, and I want to justify it. Because he's saying that I am not a law-abiding citizen. Because no law-abiding citizen would advocate for the extrajudicial taking away of any individual. Well, as I've said in other posts before, and I'll say it again, as far as I'm concerned, these people do not deserve human rights because they are not human. Human beings behave in a specific way. Human beings behave humane because they have emotions, they have standards, they have certain values that they have. Now, when you lose those values and you behave like a wild animal, regardless of how you have the outer features of a human, you haven't got the other prerequisites that would make you fully human. So human laws and human rights should not apply to you. On the question of how I would feel if the police were to come and take away one of my sons or take me away, I say the chances of that are so slim, next to non-existent, that will happen. That's the first thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to tell you why. Let us use last year's statistics as an example. Last year, 2022, the police took away 134. That's the official statistics. 134. And gunmen took away 1,498. Right? 1,498. Now, before I work the statistics, let's look at it. Gunmen, 1,498. But before we use that as a figure for the murder rate, stop for a moment. Let's look at the number of missing. In 2002, 850 individuals went missing. Now, when I say it, I don't know how they got that round figure of 850, but there you go. They round it up at 850. Quite neat. Anyway, 555, another basic round figure again, 555 were found alive. Now, 24 were found deceased. And not found is 271. Not found. Now, where are they for the entire year? It's very, very likely that almost all of them were also taken up and maybe found somewhere, someday and may never be found because they are in some shallow graves. And we all know the rumor about shallow graves all over the city. All over Jamaica, especially in Sufferers Heights and those places, and several parts of St. Catherine and all of that. So we know that even the 1,498 is not genuine figure. But of course, because they haven't found those bodies, you can't really add them to the murder statistics. But believe me, almost all 271 who were not found end up in some shallow grave. But there you go. So stop for a moment now. Let's add the 271 to the 1,498, and you get 1,769. Now, killed by police or killed by the members of the security forces is 134, which means I am 170 times more likely to be brushed by a gunman than by a member of the security force. And so are my kids. So where are we going to? So why should I fear the security forces when I'm more likely? First of all, none of my kids are bad people. They are decent. The only person who will be looking for them is to rob them and dirt them would be gunmen. No police not looking. My kids and I are the friends of the police. And we are on the right side of the law. We know no criminal as far as we know. We don't associate with no gunmen nor anybody, no nefarious person whatsoever. So the chances of us being dirted by any member of the security force is close to zero. So when this man is going to say, suppose it happened to me, the chances are next to nil of it happening because of the life we live. So I wouldn't even go there. And even if we were living anywhere, the chances of us being taken out by a gunman is still 150% more likely than to be dirted by security forces. Any way you look at it. Right? Now, let's look at the logic of what I am saying. The logic of it is this. There are roughly 379 gangs in Jamaica. Of this number, roughly 267 are considered active gangs, which 62 are said to be responsible for 80% of the murders. 62 gangs. Now, each gang contains roughly, of the core members of a gang, contains of about 15 individuals. I mean, not counting the affiliates and the hangers-on and the wannabes, but the core members of the gang is roughly between 12 to 15. Of course, some we have hundreds like Klansman and one another, but most of them are fairly small. Now, each gang is responsible for an average of 56 takeaway, roughly each gang, annually. 56. Now, if we were to pick up some doors of these violence producers at 2 a.m. and dispatch them to the other plane of existence, is that a bad thing? Because since each, say they contain 15 members, each of these violence producers take away 4 innocent people each year. 4. I mean, some take away none, some take away 10, 12, but the average is around 4 each gang member take away. Now, if we were to go in, if we were to take out, say, 5 gang members, 5 from each gang every year, and we count 20 innocent lives that we save, for every 5 gang members we take away, we are saving 20 innocent lives. Think about that. 20 lives by taking away for every 5 Krasmites. So if we go into each of these gangs, just think about it. You will save 20 lives for every 5 Krasmites you take away. Think about how many innocent lives you'll save per year. And that's for innocent people. How many of these people innocent? Because he's saying some of these people that the police may take away will be innocent. Well, let me tell you something, Pastor, because I've already told you this, but I think everybody needs to hear this. Once you hang out with Krasmites, you yourself is a Krasmite. People surround themselves with those who are their role models, those whom they admire and respect, those whom they wish to emulate. Therefore, if you hang out with gunmen, is either you are already a gunman or you're a gunman wannabe. And therefore, if you lie with dogs, you rise with flea. And as I'm saying, most of these who start killing, they start from early age, like about 13, 14. So when you find even those around them, dispatch them to the good, dear, sweet Lord and Savior. Let him go and do some, put them with them to go and judge them. Just send them up to be judged. Another point to consider, in out of the Klansman gang, remember that about 17 members of the Klansman gang were freed early in the game because there were insufficient evidence. Guess what? So far, 8 of them have been killed by either police or by fellow gunmen. Now, if these were good boy, why were they being killed by their own and by the police? Right? Which shows that the police were on the right track all along and they knew what they were doing, they knew what they were saying, they just haven't got the evidence on these occasions. Which means we should dispatch, we know who doing the crime producing, we know who is doing it, and we can't get them any other way instead of allowing them to go and dirt innocent people. Just take them out. Just take them out of the equation. Send them up to the dear sweet Lord. So that they can be judged. One of the first one to die was one named Kirk Ricketts, who was killed at the intersection of Hagley Park Road and Keysing Avenue because he was driving a vehicle and man just pull up on a motorcycle, rode up right beside him, and just dirt him right there on Hagley Park Road. Right? And I have a list of all of them. But just think of this. Guys, I could give you a whole lot of different scenarios about these dirty Krasmite murderers. But I'm just going to give you one case in point. One case in point that covers every single case. Not only for those in the Klansman who was involved in the Klansman Wandan trial, but for Krasmites across the entire length and breadth of Jamaica and how they operate. Now, here this specific case. There's this Krasmite, this piece of germs called Damian Elliston. And he was one of a dozen people who were part of the Klansman trial who were released very early in the trial because the Crown could not find sufficient evidence to hold him or keep him in custody. The police knew he was an integral part of it, but they just didn't have the evidence to bring. And because of that, he walked out of court a free man. And you see, when he walked out, he told a local publication, I think it was the Observer, that all he wanted to do was to see his daughter after spending almost 5 years behind bars. He just wanted to see his child and just get on with his life because he claimed that he was a farmer. He was a livestock farmer. How he became a livestock farmer, quote unquote livestock farmer, was that this man thief people goat. And when him thief people goat, him carry them off him piece of land where him capture in a St. Catherine. And him have them there and nobody can call the police on him. And he just had people goat and him raise them as his own and build himself up like that and call himself a livestock farmer. When a people thief in goat him have. Right? So that's how he is one of the few where don't come up and say he's an entertainer. And him is a singer. You understand? So his case was unique. But anyway, that's the only deviation from the typical. But just 19 days after his release, 19 days after his release, he was back in custody being charged for possession of 2 firearms. Imagine that, 19 days, 2 gunfire in his house. He was arrested again, taken into custody, and released on bail. And when he was granted bail, he was told that he mustn't come back in St. Catherine. He must stay in St. Mary. And no, don't come back in St. Catherine. That was a condition of his bail. No, stick up in there. You can get Crosmite bail. Crosmite who don't have any respect for law and order, for systems, for any form of principle and ethics and manners and rules and regulation. And tell him, give him stipulations for bail, and tell him, say, you can go here and you can't go there, and this is what you can and cannot do. Really? No, you see, this is how messed up the court system is. And is give more reasons why them door must be kicked off at 2 a.m. These people don't follow any kind of rules. You can't follow rules with them when you're going at them, else you're going to lose. So, this is one of them. And they give him bail, and what he do? He went and did a killing. And on the way back from that murder, he was accosted by police in the Bagwa Gorge on August 10th last year. And he was, he came out the loser in that gun battle. Now, this is the typical behavior of every single Crosmite across Jamaica. Therefore, there is only one thing to do with them, is kick off their door at 2 a.m. There is just no other way. It's the only practical thing to do. Now, this shows to say, once you're caught up in, and your name called up in a gang, because as far as I'm concerned, innocent people name don't call up in a gang. No innocent person's name has ever been called up in a gang. Once your name is called up in a gang, straight dirt. I'm sorry, straight dirt. So, sir, regardless of what you might say, I'm about saving lives. I'm about saving human lives. And as far as I'm concerned, those violence producers are not human. They do not deserve human rights, as you think, because they are not human. Human rights should be reserved for human beings. Therefore, they should get what's coming to them. And I think my position is 100% spot on. And regardless of what you say, I stand by what I say. Guys, like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.